there's another example. Basically, challenges comes in many to many. Otherwise, one to many are pretty easy. Okay. And as I said that it's the fact table will always be, you remember the toy shop data? What is it? It's not a dimension table, isn't it? It's a fact table because it has the 3 year of data, the transactions are happening. So you always find the transaction table, the fact table, and the dimension table. These two tables you always find in the data industry. Okay. So now, so what we are supposed to do here? Let me first bring the data here. Let me see what exactly it is. So this is another example. We will learn more. Let's see that. So what it is. So let's see how it is. Okay. Yeah. So you see here, these are the 4 tables now we are working. Wonderful. So we have the 4 tables. I'll explain you all these tables. Okay. See that? Let's just go and bring these tables here. Let me just load the information. Another good example for you. So the very first thing that I will do, if the relationship has been created, I'll break it. Okay. And we'll start from the scratch. So in case if we have any challenges, we will go and work on that. So thankfully, the 4 tables are here. And this table, as I said, it can be here also. Okay. I mean, somewhere here. So just scroll it. This is what I was telling you. Okay. Just keep these tables here. So right now they don't have a relationship. Okay. Very nice. Now, see this now. Beautiful exercise. So first of all, have a look on the data. So this is the sales target. You see here we have sales people. Okay. Let's say all of you in my team, your names are here. No name is repeated, as you can see. Okay. All are unique. We have there Jan, Feb, March, April, month on month we have a sale, and this is basically 12 months of data. So all these people have the targets. I've given you the targets. Then how have you performed? This information is in another table. Okay. Right. And then there's another table. Let's see where we have, this is called a calendar table, where I have just put all those 12 months of dates here. Let's see why we have done it. I've already created this, but situation when it is demanding, I'm going to create it, right? Like in the previous example, but it is already created there. Very nice. Then there's another information where we have employee database, where we have their positions and also their pictures. This we will use in our dashboard, not today. I mean, what if I want to see those 50, my teammates with their pictures in the dashboard? So this is all that, right? So, I mean, here also we have the people's name, employee database, their designation, their date of joining, their salary or whatever, age of network, whatever. So we have 4 tables. One tells us about the dates, employee with the designation and their performance, real performance, and what they were supposed to achieve. So we have the 4 tables, right? Now, please see this table carefully. This is not the right structure. Your test was also, the test that I gave you was, I think, using the same format. See, this is already a pivoted form. Have you ever seen this type of a data where you have all the fields in numbers, right? So what is going to happen? See this. I say create a visual. Okay. Let's create this visual. Now I say that you have the salesperson here. I want now 3 months of sale. Generally, you draw one field and in one field all the months come, isn't it? But this is going to create a problem because you have to go and drag every field, Jan and Feb, and and let's say March. Let me keep this post Jan and then the February only. You see, because under each field, this Jan field, you have multiple values here. Ideally, this should have been single Jan, just a Jan, and here you should have seen the total. Means okay, Jan 1111, Terry Jan 217, Robert Jan 282, and same then Feb and then March. This is basically a pivot form of our data. This is the data that I want to see after doing all the calculations. In pivot, when you create the pivots, this is the output that pivot gives you. But we don't need this because this will create a problem here. You see, what if I create, let's say, a table visual or maybe slicer? You tell me now. I want a slicer on the date. What will you do? What will you do? Are you going to put here the 1st Jan like this? And then, the other dates, for example, see this? They're on numbers, isn't it? And say, okay, I'll say don't summarize. Then, we see that you can't make the slicers also. Sorry, this slicer. See this. If I put the 1st Jan here, I don't see the Jan. Instead, the values that I have in the Jan, they are available. So it means here we have one more learning. First, we have to structure the data. We got to create the unpivot form of this, where all the headers should flow in this way. See this. And this is quite common in Excel also. I will say that you are my associate. Okay. And here we will say mark. And here we will say target or sales, whatever it is. That's how we need to build this. So here you will have A, B, C, D, E, all. Then they're marked. So let's say here we have Jan, then we have the target, then we go there. Then, for this also, we have Jan, and then we go here for CC, and then here also. So I'm just going to use only these two. So it means this is the format that I need first. Can be that A and B have web, then A and B have web, and then we have this. This is the unpivot form that we need. Because, when I have this, then I can put the slicer, and I create the slicer on month. I'll just put the month field here, and all the fields which are under the month, they will reflect here. And when I drop the month field, or let's say the target field, in this visual, I will see a single value for single month. So this is now, first we have to go and do that. So data transformation, before we build the modeling, we have to do it. Now in Excel, it's very difficult to do. In VBA also, you really need to create a program, but thanks to the Power Query, let's simply go in the transform data and see now it's so easy, it's wonderful. So let me just go in the sales target. Okay, so let's just refresh this. Yeah. What you have to do, all these headers all these dates should flow in the downward direction. And there has to be single column for the date. All these dates should come here against each of the name. So if you have 10 people and if you have 10 months of data, 10 multiplied by 12. How are you going to do it? Select the salesperson, right click here and say that unpivot other column. Other, unpivoted. Right now they're pivoted. So except for the sales, all the other columns will be unpivoted, and this is how the data will look like, and this is how the data should be. Right? In your dashboard exercise also, this is what you must have done. So I'm going to rename this to as date, and we will have this what? Target. Now I can go and build the visuals, because now I have only date field here. The moment I put the date field there, I will see all the dates. And then I can convert that into, month or the quarter, whatever it is. Okay. Before we do that, let's make sure this should be a date format. So I'm going to use the date. All right. You see, this should be a number, which is already a number. So I'm okay with this. Let's repeat the same here. Right click, unpivot, other column. Right. And again, I'm going to say date. And this is actual. Again, let's click here. Let's have this date. Otherwise, we will not get the date hierarchy. You know this, right? Once this is done, I think the rest of everything is pretty easy, straightforward. Refresh all. Let me see what is it. Yeah, so you have the dates here. You see, date is there. And so here we have the date, correct? Employee, well, fine. We need not to do anything now. So once the Power Query, with the Power Query, we have structured the data. Now it's time to basically see now what we are supposed to do. So my whole this exercise will be, because now there are multiple tables, let's create the star schema. Let's keep the transactions at the center, the fact tables. These are the fact tables, correct? You can keep them anywhere as a set, right? But go by the principles. So we're going to keep these dimension tables here outside. From here, we will create a one-to-many relationship, right? Now you see, here if I again create this salesperson with this salesperson, what will happen? You know that I will not have the entire list. You may have some people in this table and some people are not available in this table, isn't it? But if you use this table as a main axis, you will use this. Then people who are here, people who are not here but here, they will be missing. So that's why we need a system where I have all the employees, and that's why we have created this employee database. You create this separately or you just merge these people, that is up to you. But in this exercise, we have this separately created because we are maintaining the employee database also, right? So we will use this employee name instead of this salesperson or this salesperson. That is what we have learned, right? So one-to-many, create the one-to-many relationship. One-to-many, yes. Always you have to go and create a one-to-many relationship. If this table was not there, ask the team, they will give you, or create by yourself, right? Because you can create the table, but then who will give you the date of joining? Who will give you the, the other things which you may require? Like, for example, you want to create a appraisal, and for that you need a date of joining, right? Now you don't have it, so you should need all those things. So with this also, I'm going to create, drag and drop here. So we have connected the employee database with this and this. And the calendar, this is also, we need it. What if I want the filter? Okay, let's keep this as it is. Okay, for now. So now I have table here. Now, I'm going to always use this employee in my table or any visual I use. Okay, you will always use this. Remember, you will not use any field from the many side table, always from the one side. Okay, nowhere I said that many to many is you can't use it. Only for the performance sake and for those missing challenges, we prefer this. And performance is a big thing. For small data, you may manage to work with the many to many. But my point is that at least you should know the things. Then you can take a call. So I have the employee, I have the designation, I want to see the designation. Then I want to see the target, and I want to, have against the target what he has delivered. And you see we have, we have the wonderful information here. You can use this. All right, let's create the visual answer. Okay, so I'm going to create the line chart. I'm going to use the line chart here, and I say, okay, so there we go, employees. And this is the target, and this is the actual. Right? This is what. Or we can use this as well. Line and stack or line and cluster, if you remember. Right? I can just go and change. I can put the target in the line y-axis, if you remember. Yeah, wonderful. You see that, right? So by putting the employee name here from this one-sided the table, that I'm making sure that all the employees will be there, right? This is how it is. Now, what will happen, guys, if I put the slicer? I want to put the slicer on the dates. All right, let's do that. Now, let's say that you don't have the date calendar, right? Are you going to put the date from here or from here, isn't it? Now, you may have some dates here and some dates are missing there. Again, the same problem, which I've explained you, isn't it? It can happen, isn't it? Due to any reason, and we don't need that, right? And also, you see, if I put the date here, by the way, if I put the date here, okay, I say date hierarchy, I want to see this year on year, right? Right now we have only one, so I will not use this year. Instead of that, I can take here also in the date hierarchy. Okay, so I want this month. Yeah. So let's say I want the month. Okay. Now let me select the Jan. Look at this. What is happening? Only the actuals are changing. There's no change in the target. Why? Because this slicer you're using from actual table. So actual table, the fields which you use in this, the visual, which is obviously this actual, is connected with this, but the target is not connected. It's simply because this table has no relationship with this, and we don't need that. We don't need that due to the reasons which I've discussed. We watch the lecture. We practice. Go and check that link. See more lectures on internet also. Why not? All right? All right? You will understand. But now what to do then? Then this is where I decided to bring this table where I have the unique dates and all the dates. Even if one date is missing here, I want all the dates to be here. Right? And then this is where I will go and drag and drop this here. It, one too many, always my focus. And then with this also. Now it's very easy for me to create the slicer using this calendar. And then the information, the target we can have, the actual answer we can have from this. This is called the star schema. Previous one was also. If you have more tables, obviously that table you put here and you put here. And that is called the star schema, where you have one-to-many relationship coming from the dimension tables on the fact tables. And we put the fact tables at the center. To make sure that slicing should include all the fields, right? And there will be a unique focus that I'm always going to use this. Even for my new report, if I have to use, I will always go and use this. It's very easy for me now, to figure it out which field should I use. Other than if I use this or if I use this. They may not have few dates available. Right? In one we may not have 1st January to 5th. We may have it here. So let's put everything here. So now this particular, the slicer, what I will do, of this, use this. And when I use this, let me go here in the date hierarchy and I'm going to use the month, right? The month. Yeah. Let me select the Jan and now you can see the data is modeling through the help of the data modeling on this set. Okay. So this is how, these are the points you have to remember. Try creating a one-to-many relationships. We are not talking about one-to-one. They are already good. But in many-to-many, this is what the problem is, that the calculation time and, some fields they can miss because both the tables have, of course, they have the same field, but maybe in the targets, we have some more entries and in the other table, you may not have those entries, and we want to see all the things, especially when we create the dashboards. You like to see all the information. You like to put everything here, isn't it? So this is how it is. Okay. Because if let's say the June data it's not available here, you will see the plan, but at least you have all the fields here. And one-to-many relationship is faster, the way the queries work. Okay. So go and practice on this. So when you're going to use these files, just create the dummy copies of these, break all the relationships, and just go and start from the scratch.